the Comic DF.
What is up, besties? It is your girl, the Karmic DF, back to you again with another video. This time it's going to be conspiracy theory for spooky ooky season. So as always, if you enjoyed these videos, please leave it a like. It really does help my channel. Comment down below what you want to see in future videos. If there is any gaps that you can fill for me if you've done research on this stuff, as well as just, what else you want to see. Subscribe if you enjoy this and hit the notification bell to see more videos. That being said, today we are going to dive into, I have heard this through people that channel, I have heard it in conspiracy groups, and now I've heard it on Gaia, which if you don't know Gaia, it is a streaming platform for those that are awake. So, if you're getting into this stuff, I highly recommend just checking out the free trial. And no, they do not work with me, though. Hey, Gaia, if you hear me, I would. That being said, a lot of people are talking about how they are concerned that we're going to have this fake alien invasion or real alien invasion. I don't feel that at all. But they are concerned that the GOV is going to do some sort of alien invasion to kind of like either scare us or maybe just wake us up to the fact that there are ETs and there always has been. That being said, there is an episode on Gaia called Cosmic Disclosure. It's on season 21, I believe, where Captain Randy Kramer is a covert military space. He's working for a covert military space program. He's been in it for 18 years now, and he's part of what's called an Earth Defense Force. Now, I did do some Googling. You can't find it. Are we shocked? I'm not shocked. But that being said, I did take a clip and parts from that episode so that you guys can get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. And then we are going to look into, is this really going to happen? Because the biggest concern is that basically we are being set up in our nervous systems to take in chaos so that by the time this happens, we will already just be like, oh, wow, like this is happening. Not shocking. The world's basically on fire. That's the vibe of all of that. And that's a little concerning. And I've heard a lot of channelers say that this may not happen and that we are waking up so fast that it won't happen. So my goal here is to figure out if this is still a plan, if it's a plan at all, and if there's anything we could do to avoid this from happening. So that being said, real quick, I'm going to show you the clip that I have made smaller so that you guys can get a better understanding. Ready?
Disclosure look like from your perspective?
Alien invasion, post-invasion reconstruction.
Why that?
Apparently, the discussion around the big table, as I often refer to it, was we got to do something. Do we want to do a take me to your leader plan, or do we want to do an invasion plan? We reach 85% acceptance. That's considered total acceptance, even if it's not 100%. But that's the fastest path to total acceptance, is not giving those people the time or the intellectual process or the number of choices that would delay that. Events that have been progressing one after the other actually lead us to a place where when that big stressful event comes along, it will seem much less stressful.
Right.
Because we've been conditioned to be living under stress for the last several years. It actually turns out that psychologically, people come into a greater sense of acceptance from that chaotic situation than they do from a static situation. So if you tried to bring in a disclosure event 20 years ago when there was more stability, you'd have way more resistance to it.
All right. So now that you've seen that, I don't know how you feel, but basically, and I didn't want to put the whole thing in because I don't really know how copyright works exactly, so I clipped some parts. But basically what he's saying is they have this plan where it's like, first we get hit with, the vid and the lockdown, and then we get hit with all this, we're struggling with finances and food and all of that, and we're already in this place, and then we see more and more wars, and apparently this is something that's been studied for years, where it's like we are not as primitive as we think, which I've been saying for the longest time. We are not as evolved as we like to believe. We are like America as a whole, respectfully, no disrespect, but we've developed this kind of narcissistic type of tendency. I mean, to believe we're the only people in the universe is just absolutely ridiculous. But that being said, this is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. But with the fact that this keeps coming out, that there could be some sort of invasion, I got to take a look at it for my peace of mind alone, and maybe yours too. And as always, alleged for entertainment purposes only, no facts here. Okay. My deck is sticky. That's usually a sign of like, we don't want to tell you. All right, let's see. What's up with the alien invasion spirit? Shit. Okay, so right away, this is not shocking me here because this is giving me the vibe of like how we as a community have lost touch with the divine feminine, right? Like even with the Queen of Swords in reverse, this is giving me the vibe of like women have become, and I've said this in, I think the last reading I did. Again, if you guys haven't already, there's a pop culture playlist of these that you could check out where I've done alien readings as well. But this is giving me the vibe of like what he said, basically, that we're not as evolved as we'd like. And they've tried in the past to kind of wake us up. And I feel like there's a double meaning here where it's like, it's the bad side of the GOV that didn't want us to know, mixed with like our own learned ignorance of, again, like that's probably why I got drawn to talking about human narcissism here, where we're just like, we're the only beings in the universe. Like it's just absolutely ridiculous. And it feels like what I'm hearing is like I'm at my wit's end. And so it's like they don't really know what to do with us as a species. And I feel like this is coming from like other beings where it's like we need to learn how to help you, basically how to get you here where you're back aligned with yourself, your true self, your power and all of that. But in order to do that, we got to cause a little bit of chaos. So I do believe to an extent that this is not off the table is what I'm saying. But I want to pull more cards because Tower card would be the card that I would see being, yes, let's look more. Yeah, we're not in touch with our divine feminine anymore. We're too defensive. I do believe that there is some conflict amongst the groups of how we should approach this situation. I feel like this conversation is still in the works, where you do have some groups that are like, there's got to be, like what I'm hearing is there's got to be a better way, like that commercial. But I'm seeing like there's people that whoever is around the table, whoever gets to make this type of decision where they have these false invasion narratives, it's just giving the vibe of like we're not all agreeing, we're not all on the same page. Yeah, because what I'm hearing is the same thing that I thought when I saw this, which is like, what is the psychological damage that this is going to cause? Because this is like inner conflict, being guarded, and it's like we're trying to get them back to their inner compass, their intuition. We're trying to free them. And so the argument on the table is like, couldn't this do more harm than good? That's kind of the vibe here. It's like, couldn't this do more harm than good? But if you were to watch the episode, it's kind of like a vibe of like, well, at this point in the game, we're so far. Yeah, I'm being drawn to my skull, which is kind of giving me the ape vibe, which he does talk about how we think we're advanced, but we're actually so not. And it's given the vibe of like, but we need to get them to step it up. Like they're not in touch with themselves anymore. They fight. They're chaotic. They don't understand what we are one is and collective consciousness. And I'm just seeing how like humanity needs to evolve. And so basically what I'm seeing is like graphs and like analysis. And it's like, I hate to say this, y'all, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, but this is kind of what the episode was saying. It's kind of like a survival of the fittest. It's like, well, there are enough people that know that this is real. There are enough people where it's just kind of like humanity as a whole needs to evolve. And so if we have to lose a couple of people in order to make this happen, then we might need to do that. Frick. Getting unstuck. Shit. Okay, so their goal here in this, and he says this in the episode, I just didn't put it in here, is to kind of like, in a this is going to sound bad, but this is not what they're meaning. It's basically like humanity in itself has lost complete touch with the version of God, whatever form of God that you want to believe in, religion, spirituality, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. It's the belief that there's more out there than us. And we are just so focused on our day-to-day and our what we can achieve, how far up the ladder we can go. And so it's like, in order to get us unstuck and get us back into a place where we're in peace and harmony with our family, with our loved ones, where we really, yeah, because I'm hearing the song from Cheers where it's like where everybody knows your name, and it's given the vibe of like, you know your neighbors, you're part of a community, you love each other, you care about one another. I'm seeing people like, you need bread, I have bread. You need this food, I have this food. You need water, I got this. It's making us come together. Yeah, I'm hearing the song, come together right now. And with the Judgment card, I feel like that speaks for itself, because he was talking about on the episode that unfortunately a lot of people through religion are expecting some sort of savior. And so what I'm seeing is how they can play on this and give you a savior. So like, I didn't record that part, but what he's saying in the episode is like, we're going to give you a false invasion, but we're also going to give you another ET that's going to be like, oh, we can help you clean this up. We got you. We're going to help. Like, and it's not as much of like a savior thing as it is like, oh, by the way, now you're being forced to see that there are bad ETs, but you're also going to see that there are very extremely evolved ETs. And that is going to be what helps us move forward. It's like, oh, there's someone out there that's willing to help us. And so we're going to rely on them because they have our backs. They're more evolved. They're more advanced. And so that being said, I'm hearing the song You Better Shape Up from Greece. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling like they're leaning towards doing this as we speak. With the Judgment card right next to the Ten of Cups, with the Hangman up in reverse, it's like we've thought about this for a while. And we're really running out of options here because humanity is not evolving to the extent that we need them to, as fast as we need them to. People are gripping onto their egos for dear life. They are refusing to accept any form of going within and being able to reflect and heal their traumas and be able to become who we're supposed to be. Remember how I've said in prior readings that third world countries, they're more aware, they're more connected to spirit, they realize that there's more to life than chasing a ladder. And so because all of these first worlds have become so dependent on, money that's really, it's not even real, right? It's paper. We made that shit up. That's why we're dying in taxes right now. You know what I mean? And so it's like, in order to bring you back to yourself, your natural divinity of being part of a community, of being part of family, we kind of have to shake shit up. So that being said, y'all, I'm not saying it's 100% going to happen, but I'm saying y'all should really start working on silent meditation, doing the work, going within and working on what it is that makes you fearful, what it is that makes you anxious, what it is that makes you disconnected from yourself. Because honestly, like, I'm seeing a roll of the dice. It's like it could go either way at this point, because I just see, like, I see ETs in my head and they're like, we don't know what to do with these guys. Like, I'm hearing the song Earth is Ghetto, I Want to Leave. We are the ghetto to them. It's like, you guys kill each other. You guys, in the name of war, make excuses. And it's just like, what I see is like the pressure cooker of humanity, and it's building, right? Like, we're all kind of dealing, root chakra crystal I'm drawn to. We're all dealing with, we're in a trauma state right now because we've been getting hit so hard. Like, how many times, if you're a millennial, where we're like, how many more things can we get hit with? Y2K, 9/11, all of that. Like, we're just constantly getting hit. Our parents being like, you should have a home by the time you're 18. It's like, bro, inflation, you're not understanding. And it's because we've gotten so disconnected from who we're supposed to be, where we're supposed to be headed. It's like, we think that we're evolved, and we're not evolved at all. And I've been saying this. America, other first world countries, they got you thinking we're evolved because they give you shiny new shit. The reality is we are not evolved at all. We are very much like, I just keep seeing like the graph of like apes to humans, and it's like, you guys think that we're all advanced, but in the reality, like, we're still kind of more in the primitive stage. We are still like, what's mine is mine. We don't know how to share. We don't know how to connect with things that are outside of us. We're very 3D. We don't understand that we're multidimensional beings. And so there's still this conference going on of like, we're going to try as much as we can through media, even the false flags, where it's like, even though the false flags, the narratives of like, oh, look at all these ETs coming out, like, oh, they could be evil, blah, blah, blah. It's all it's like a test. Like what I'm seeing is like, you know how they have like science where like they have the rats in the thing and they study the rats. It's like we are the rats right now. We're being studied to see how we handle what's coming out now, because if we can handle the ETs coming out, and like he says this in the video where it's like a lot of us are already like, bro, like we know it's real. The problem is, yeah, I'm hearing you're only as strong as your weakest link. And because we have so many people that are indoctrinated into religion, nothing's real outside of Earth. There's no such thing as life after life, that we're not, that reincarnation doesn't exist, that we are so disconnected from the truth of our reality. And so it's just kind of like, because we're only as strong as our weakest link, we have a lot of weak links and they're holding us back. And so the problem is, because those people refuse to accept that we need to evolve, there's like a 50-50 shot that this is actually going to happen. And what I'm getting is like a nod from spirit where it's like, keep an eye out. If we start headed towards, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, if we start headed towards like World War III, if we start seeing more countries attacking other countries, like I'm seeing like Ukraine, which he mentions in the video, if we start to see more of that, that is where we are headed, because we are not evolving. And so to my light workers, to my spiritual people that are not, you know, ashamed of being someone like me, someone like us, start speaking your truth, start getting it out there now. Because if we can start waking people up ourselves, then maybe we can get a handle on this, to at least the point where it doesn't have to be so catastrophic where we have to lose people. Because what I'm seeing is like, I'm being pulled out into the big picture where it's like, we really, obviously we don't want anybody to die, right? But what ends up happening, how do we end up changing as a species, right? We see this all the time. When do you personally change? It's in the event of some sort of catastrophic thing. I didn't get sober until it was really, really bad, and my only choice was to get sober or get kicked out of where I was living. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, unfortunately, as humans, we don't want to take the easy path. We drag our asses, and then we get put in really unfortunate events that we could have avoided if we had just decided to evolve naturally. It's like we're dragging our feet. We're the kid in the grocery store that doesn't want to leave. And so the parent has no choice but to treat us like crap and to rip us out of the store because we don't listen. And so that's the vibe of us as humanity. It's like you refuse to accept what's going on, and so we're going to force it on you. So that being said, it's very possible that this could happen. Does that mean it will happen? If we start to talk out on this, on what's going on, if we start to be more honest about, you know, ET life, what I keep seeing is like starseed spiritual people that are being woken up right now, then it's like, get on a platform, start speaking your truth, get on TikTok, get on, if YouTube's your thing, go for YouTube. If Facebook and going live on Facebook's your thing, do that. But it's like, we need to start speaking up. We need to start doing it now if we want to see any sort of difference. Yeah, this is all because we've been completely disconnected from who we are. It's like we have a divine masculine and a divine feminine, and that creates all of us. And women are leaning more towards their masculine because, you know, it's not acceptable to have emotions and yada yada. And men have become very just not men, respectfully, not all of them. So don't come for me in the comments. If that triggered you, then maybe reflect. So what this is giving me is like, we do have a chance for this to change, but we've got to be the reason that this changes. AKA, we need to start doing our work. We need to stop running away from ourselves. We need to stop avoiding things that we don't want to do. Stop binging TV, stop eating shitty food, stop pretending that the world's not on fire, and start going within and start healing and start elevating as a species. Because Ace of Pentacles in reverse, that is kind of hopeful, especially with the Wheel of Fortune. That's in reverse too. So that's like, this can change. We can change the fate of this, but it's up to us as a collective to level the hell up. Like I just keep hearing the song Level Up by Sierra. It's like, it's up to you. What do you want to do with this information? Do you want this alien invasion? Because either way, in the next however many years this is going to take, it's going to happen. ETs are going to become the reality. This is why we're getting like disclosure to an extent, but we also got people in the background that don't want that to happen, because what comes with disclosure is coming sorry, I'm having a real hard time saying this because I'm seeing it and it's hard to put it into words. But what I'm seeing is like, you're going to have the ETs looking like the savior here, because what they're going to do is they're going to help us become humanity that we need to be, aka the free energy that we know exists but we never got. Med beds, I'm hearing med beds. The conspiracy theorists will know what I'm talking about. Natural healing, which I've heard about, like pyramids can do and stuff like that. It's like, we have to shake shit up because you guys are so disconnected from who we need to be. Again, I'm being drawn to like all the 3D shit that we need, and how we can't supposedly cure cancer, but in fact we actually can. It's just that we're so disconnected from, we think we need, I don't want to get into it. Let's move on. But this is being, basically it's like the force of us evolving as a species, because we are not as evolved as we think. I just keep hearing primitive, and I just keep seeing like Stone Age, and I keep seeing like dinosaurs, and just like man when he was like building a fire. And it's like, you guys think you're advanced, you're not. That's the vibe. So it's really a matter of us coming into our own, because like, look, right, this is the Lovers, which people know that this is about love usually, but this is what we're going to see happening is like someone coming to save us, because we always need a freaking savior instead of saving ourselves. And so this is the vibe of like two becoming one, putting both pieces of us together, using the masculine force and the feminine force. It's like, I don't know how to explain this, because I don't know, think of someone you know that's really freaking evolved, where it's like, for instance, a woman that's very nurturing, but she also knows how to work and get her own money, and she runs her business. Or say a man that has he's working hard, doing a job, taking care of himself, but he's also someone that can cry to a movie, and he's also someone that can nurture his spouse. It's having the balance of the feminine and the masculine energies, which we have strayed so far away from. And so this opportunity to basically traumatize us more than we've already been traumatized, we have a choice to change this, and it's up to us leveling up. It's up to us accepting that we are spiritual beings living a human experience, and not human beings relying on external spirituality to save us. If we still have that mentality, then we're going to need a savior, and that's when they're going to develop a plan to give us a savior, but that's how they're going to introduce extraterrestrial life. So, do you want to be your own savior and start doing the work now? Or would you like this alien invasion? That's basically the vibe of this. It's kind of like a parent giving you the tough talk. It's like, do you want to grow the fuck up, or do you want to get out my house? Like, that's really the vibe of what's going on right now. And honestly, I get it, but can we all level up? Because I just keep seeing like, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And it's like, we have got to start speaking out on this. Like, I remember there was a time where I would not do a video like this because I was like, I don't want to be called crazy. And you know what? I'd rather be called crazy than have an alien invasion that's fake. So, or just an alien invasion, period. So that being said, what do you want? Do you want to, potentially be called crazy for a little while? Or do you want to help the rest of us in waking up humanity so that we don't have to get it the hard way? You know what I'm saying? Fuck. Yeah, right now, the people, whoever's in control, I can't speak. Whoever's in charge of this right now is just fed up with our shit, to be honest with you. It's like, they've already looked at like, all right, how can we do this? What can we do to make this better? And it's like, you know what? Unfortunately, these people, respectfully, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, I'm channeling whoever, respectfully, these people are brainwashed. They believe that they have to like go to a church in order to find God. They don't realize that God is within them. They don't realize to go within. And so how are we going to do this in a way that's just? How are we going to do this in a way that doesn't hurt the people? And it's like, you know what? We might have to lose a few to evolve the many. And with that, because people are not evolving at the level we need them to, and they're not taking stock, and they're not reflecting, and they're so disconnected from themselves, and they're not going within. And so what we need is basically almost like a new religion, but it's not a new religion. It's just a new savior. Because notice how a lot of these religions are like, God's coming to save us and blah, blah, blah. And so because of, respectfully, I'm sorry if you're religious, but I got to point this out, because again, religion makes you look outside of yourself. They've screwed us in that aspect. And so this is the smartest way to go, where we are all in this place of like, oh my God, it can't get any worse. And then it gets worse, and then it gets worse. And then we're like, what the hell? And then we're looking for something outside of ourselves to save us. So we're looking for, like, for instance, like the next president to change our world. And it's like, how many more fucking puppets do you need to realize that that's not going to be the change? And so what they're trying to understand is like, because we have a problem where people just rely on religion when things get tough instead of going within and healing and purging and all that, we got to create something for people to, like, because what I'm seeing is like people bowing down, and it's like, we're not worthy. And then eventually we'll go on to learn that like they're just here to help us. They're not, God. But it's giving like, we need to give you something to rely on. Like, I can save you. I have the information. I have the wisdom. I have the knowledge. It's giving like, I hate to say it, but it's giving like the next Jesus Christ. It's giving like Jesus. I don't care what you have to say. Argue with me in the comments. I don't care. But Jesus, he was a prophet. He was someone that could channel. He was probably a psychic medium, of that time. And that's kind of the vibe. It's like, we're going to drop someone in that's an extraterrestrial that's like, I have the answers here. Because I'm being drawn to like free energy and stuff. And then look at this like little like metal thing. It's like, I have the answers. I have what you need. And so really the problem that I'm having is I thought we were evolving past this. So I'm going to assume, unfortunately, that not as many people are awake as we actually thought. I think we got a good amount of people waking up, but we need to step it up. I'm being honest with you, because this is unfortunately the road that we're headed down if we don't wake up. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to scare you, because if you want to be prepared for this, if you want to get all scared and whatever, we already need to be at World War III, and we need to be seeing countries that don't usually fight start to fight. So we need to be seeing wars across the globe. When you start to see that, that means that we've failed to level up on our own, and then we're going to probably get this invasion. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. That's on the current trajectory right now. We have the choice to change this by waking other people up, sharing your story. Stop feeling like you're crazy. Who cares? The people that don't get it, get it. I'm hearing the girlies that get it, get it. The girlies that don't. Who cares? Go ahead and be crazy. Remember this moment. Remember that we don't want an ET invasion. That's not even real. So, and this is not even like a power play. This is more of like, I'm getting my hand pulled, because what I'm seeing is like, there are definitely people that don't want this to happen because they don't want humanity to up level. But again, it's more like you don't get a say. The people that don't want this to happen, that don't want us to level up, they don't get a say in this, because the ETs are kind of like, they're fed up. To be honest with you, they're fed up because they want us to evolve. They want what's best for us, and they understand that we aren't the ones holding ourselves back, but because the indoctrination of religious crap that holds us back, and the indoctrination of us not loving ourselves because of what social media has done and what TV has done, and how they know how to use our psychology to make us consume and hate ourselves, to be disconnected from ourselves, to buy and yada yada. And it's like the ETs are just watching us fail and fumble, and it's like, if y'all don't level up, then we got to force you to level up. That's the vibe. I'm seeing like a Band-Aid being ripped off, and it's like, if you guys don't want this to happen, then we need to start leveling up now. That's the vibe. I'm sorry. They're definitely having an inner conflict right now. So again, you want this to change, it's up to you. They do have a lot to offer us, though. They want to give us new technology, new advancements, new healing is definitely a major one that I keep hearing in my head, like med beds and stuff like that. But it's just like, we're so distracted by the BS that mainstream puts out that it's like, if we were to approach you in a right way, you guys would be so fearful, because again, it's like the conditioning of like all the alien movies, and the conditioning of how many decades have they known ETs are real, and now they're just kind of being truthful, and it's because of whistleblowers. Again, it's like, you're having this fight here between these advanced civilizations trying to help us and the 1% that's not wanting us to evolve. And so there's this war here where it's like, well, we're running out of options, and your people are running out of time, because in this chaos, we're getting more angry, we're getting more disconnected from humanity, we're getting into a more primal state. I mean, mental health problems are at an all-time high, and guess what goes with that? More drug addiction, more alcohol abuse, more binging of everything. And it's like, I don't know about you, but in my personal life, I've seen a lot of people, unfortunately, lately that are dying of like, you know, drugs and alcohol and heart attacks. And it's really on par with the fact that we are in a very traumatizing period of history right now. And so it's really up to us to decide where we're going to go from here. But if we don't level up, there's only so much that they can do. Yeah, because we're attached to shit that does not serve us. Jobs that don't make us happy. Addictions that don't fulfill us. We run away from ourselves. We don't know how to work together. We don't know how to... We don't understand what humans are. In fact, if we were smart and we had the ability... Everyone in America and every other first world country should take like a week vacation to a third world country and learn from them, because we're just so disconnected. Honestly, like, I wouldn't be shocked if these invasions happen in first world countries only, or like it's more intense in first world countries than third world countries, because third world countries just already know that there's life outside and that we're connected to something bigger than ourselves. But we're being controlled. We're being controlled by the people in the dark that, you know, have this agenda that it's like, work hard, don't ask questions, don't look up, don't, you know, just focus on building a bank, building a legacy, building money, you know, work, be a workhorse. And it's just like, humanity can't keep going this way. I mean, this is why you're seeing everything being so like clear as day now, where it's like you got new artists and then their music videos are just pure demonic crap. And it's like, part of this is like the part of disclosure in its own way, but part of it's like, we're trying to make you wake up and realize that everything that you've ever known, respectfully, is broken. It's damaged. Your celebrities, they're worshipped, yet at the same time, they're their own sort of slaves. It's just, we're just so disconnected from what humanity's supposed to be, where we're supposed to be. It's like the ETs are like, not laughing at us, but it's just like, oh my God, like, they see us as the cavemen trying to build fire. We should be so much more advanced than this. They understand that, you know, the gov and everything are a huge reason why we're not there yet. But it's like, what choice do we have at this point? We need you guys to level up. Like, it's giving you're only as strong as your weakest link. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. We want to disconnect you from what it is that you believe is what's supposed to make you happy. I feel like they've tried to get the truth out, but they've run out of options. Like, I just see this rat wheel and it's like, we can't, no matter what, it's like, we're trying to get through to you. We're trying to help you, you know, walk away from the things that you think are important, to go on to self-discovery. But it's just like, whether that's because the government's holding us back or what, we're not getting there. We're not leveling up to the degree that we need to. And it's so freaking important right now, if you don't want this to manifest in your reality, to start doing the inner work, the inner healing, doing the search for self, looking to fill a void. I'm glad that I was drawn to that. We constantly look to fill a void, when in reality, the only way to fill that void is to go within and to ask ourselves, what hurts? What's going on with us? What do we need to know? I wasn't always tuned into my psychic gifts until I did all of the purging that I needed to do. I needed to heal from a lot of pain from the past that was making me believe that that was who I am, because I was living in the past. And so we need to start doing self-reflection now. We need to start prioritizing our mental health now. We need to start prioritizing our well-being now. We need to stop eating unhealthy. And I'm not trying to shit on y'all. Like, eat a freaking burger if you want to once in a while. I don't care. Live your best life. But I'm just saying that humanity is not at the level that we need to be. And so I just keep hearing the song, If Push Comes to Shove, from Will Smith, but that's the only line that I'm hearing. When push comes to shove. When push comes to shove. It's like, there's also something going on with a contract that's not being fulfilled. So I feel like there's this tug and pull between the gov and the ETs. I know this sounds so weird. It's spooky season, y'all, so that's why I was willing to do it. But the ETs are big mad, because they're like, it's time. Like, I just keep seeing, this is my sign for like, it's time to go. It's time. Let's go. And so That being said, if you are someone who's spiritual and you're doing your thing, keep doing your thing. Do it loud, do it proud. Who cares if people call you crazy? Moving forward, I'm going to try to remember that myself. But it's like we need to start speaking our truth. We need to start saying what we know, the research that we've done. Who cares if you look crazy? It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. Would you rather look crazy, or would you rather find out that the gov is going to unleash fake insectoids to scare the shit out of us so that we level up? Like, you know, choose your poison. That's the vibe. Yeah. Your dream come true of a new life where you're free and you're shit. Where you're free and you're hopeful and you're more vivacious and you're living your life. That comes after we end this cycle. This comes after you can't take any more trauma, where it's like, it's just given the vibe of like millennial TikToks that I've seen, where it's like, dude, the reason that we're so okay when we shouldn't be okay is like because we've lived through so much trash that it's like, yeah, that makes sense. That's on par. Okay. Another disaster. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That's on par. It's given the vibe of like, we got to give you one final, just real like stab. So it's like, oh my God, like I give up. I surrender. What I need to think of, I need to go something outside of myself. I give up. Like I have nothing left. I don't know where else to go. And so when we don't know where else to go, where do we go? We go to faith. And unfortunately, if we don't level up now, fuck. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Fuck. Yeah, we're completely disconnected. We're heartbroken. The victim of our own circumstances that we need to get out of. Our only chance of avoiding this is us to continue up leveling, to keep, you know, light workers, starseeds. If you subscribe to that, but you've been afraid to speak your truth, you've thought about making a TikTok, you've thought about making a YouTube, you thought about making a Rumble, you thought about making a Twitch, whatever it is. You've thought about speaking your truth, but you haven't. Maybe it's a Facebook, whatever. Start doing it now. Start doing it right this second. Don't even quit. Listen, the people that are ready to hear it will be drawn to you. And the people that get triggered, they'll just project on you, and who cares? Because the only person you have control over is yourself. Right now, we really need to be thinking about big picture thinking, because if we don't, like, this is giving me like the male energy, and it's like our men are just not tapping into their feminine energy. They are refusing to do the healing work. They are refusing to go within. And so they are doing damage to the feminine. I'm not saying feminines don't do damage to masculine. I'm just picking from this one card right now. It's like men have just completely disconnected from their emotional self. This is why they're not intuitive anymore. They're all based on logic. They don't have that compass anymore. And it's like, this is devastating to humanity, because again, it's just like, this is why we have marriages that fail. This is why we have, you know, relationships that are built on egos and trauma and projection and wounds. And it's like, this is not how we're supposed to be. This is a bunch of people that are living through their trauma and they're not going within to heal. And because you're not doing the work, we have no other choice. What is the back deck energy, Spirit? Working together. We're at a crossroads, y'all. We're at a crossroads. Right now, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, this is still in the production phase. Does that mean it won't happen? I can't say that. We got a choice, though. If we decide to start leveling up now, if we decide to start taking this seriously, then we have a chance of this not actually happening. Because Page of Swords at the back deck, followed with the Two of Swords, Three of Pentacles, it's like, if we learn to work together, if we learn to come together, if we learn to change this dynamic on our own, if we learn to start speaking up on our own, if we all learn to prioritize silent meditation and going within, healing our traumas, leveling up, raising our vibrations, trying to connect with spirit, realizing that we all have psychic gifts, realizing that there's more to life. Stop settling for the world that which we are given. Stop settling for they're robbing you blind. Stop settling for this belief that, you know, if you grow up in a poverty family that you are meant for poverty. Get rid of the poverty wounds. Get rid of the wounds that, either the men have done to you, the women have done to you. If you're bisexual, all the groups of people have done to you. The parent wound, healing that. This is all about coming home to self so that we don't have to have it happen to us. That's the vibe of this. And I'm getting worked up because it's like, y'all, level up. Like, I just keep hearing the song Level Up. It's like, we need to do the work now. So, like, props on the people that are continuing to speak their truth now. Keep doing that, because the more we stop stifling our voice, the more we start speaking our truth, the more we start stepping into who we believe we're supposed to be, the more we stop believing that we can't be more than what we want, the more we start believing that our dreams have a reason and that we should pursue them. The more that we come together as a community, we stop projecting, we stop seeing everybody as a threat, we stop seeing people that we don't understand as threats. When we stop thinking that we are separate and we start realizing that we are all one, like, I'm being drawn to the fact that, like, I believe we all are 97% DNA. We're all the same. And so we need to get back to realizing that we're all the same and that we all have the same goals. Like, we're different, but we're the same. We all want peace, right? We all want to be able to eat. We all want to be able to know that we have clean water and healthy food. We all want the same things. But unfortunately, if we don't get to that level on our own, we're going to be forced to have that decision made for us. It's like a parent that has a kid that's not acting right, and we've told you and we've told you and we've told you and we've given you a million warnings. If you don't shape up, we're going to ship you out. And the kid just refuses. And so it's like, guess what? Now you're going to boarding school. That's where we are as humanity. We are the kid that is throwing a temper tantrum, that feels that it's all about us. And it's like, you know what? You don't have a choice anymore. You need to either level up, shape up, or we're going to have to make a decision for you. That is the vibe of this. Yep, new opportunity. We don't want to do this, but this is a plan in play. We really hope that you guys can stop it. What I'm seeing is, like, masculines that no longer know how to tap into their feminine, and feminines that are too in their masculine. We have moved too far away from the divine feminine as an energy, and because of that, we are disconnected. Because what I'm seeing is, like, I'm seeing Egyptians. I'm seeing like group circles where they, like, play on the banjos, or not banjos, bongos. And it's like they call on spirit. And I'm seeing, like, groups in, like, Arizona, for instance, that are, like, calling on ET contact. And it's like, this is how we're supposed to be. But y'all are so concerned with watching the Kardashians, and y'all are so concerned with arguing about how the president's going to save our life when the president is just another puppet. And then you're yelling at each other on social media. But in reality, what you're doing is you're trying to release all this pent up anger you have because you feel like you have no control over your life. And the only way to feel like you have control over your life is to go within and do the work. And basically, the ETs are like the parent that's like, we've had enough of your shit, respectfully. And so we have a choice moving forward. I keep seeing like railroad tracks, right? And it's like, right now we're headed towards a crash. It's like we're headed towards, like, say you're on a track, right? And the brakes aren't working, and in front of you is like a brick wall, and it's like, we are headed towards that brick wall. But we have a choice, because there is another turn right here. We could turn right here, and we could decide to choose each other. We could decide to come together. We could decide to love each other. Love one another and heal each other. Stop projecting on each other. Stop competing. Stop comparing. The girl next to you is not a threat. You need to learn to love yourself. She's not a threat. She's reflecting to you why you don't love yourself. That guy that's muscular and has all the money, he's not a threat. He is showing you who you want to be, and it's triggering you because that's not where you're aiming, because you are settling for less. It's like this learned helplessness that humanity has. It's like, woe is me. I'm going to sit here, feel sorry for myself, drink my drink, smoke my smoke. And respectfully, this is why we're not leveling up. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. We have a choice to make. And I keep hearing 10 years. I don't know what that means. But listen, I'm not trying to scare you, but I am trying to wake you up, because I feel like we're headed in a bad direction if that's not what we're doing. Now, listen, I've seen a lot of people start to wake up that I never expected to wake up. Are they going a lot slower than I would wish? Yeah, absolutely. And we are only as strong as our weakest link. And now I keep burping, so it's got to be true. We have the opportunity, if we do it ourselves, to change this. We do have a chance to change this, but we've got to start getting loud like yesterday. We need to start. If you're someone who's been doing research on this stuff, if you're someone who's into this stuff, but you keep it a secret and it's your like little fun thing to do on the side, it's time to start speaking up. There's a reason you're drawn to this. If you have been drawn, like I said before, to making a platform, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, if you've decided that you're interested in this, start speaking your truth. Shit, share this video. Go for it. I don't care if I sound crazy. I don't want any chance of this happening. But that being said, I'm going to do some oracles to end the reading. But I feel like I'm tapping into some, either my guides or ETs. I'm hearing a mix of both, where it's like, y'all need to level the hell up or we're going to make you do it. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. You know what's funny is in my head I'm hearing One Day by Modest Yahoo, where it's like, all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more, there'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day. That's the vibe. That's where they want us to get to. We don't have a choice. That's where we're headed. So if you don't like the vibe of like community and family, then like, I don't know, maybe build a bunker and just get out of our way, respectfully, because I don't want this shit to happen. But I'm going to be honest with you right now. If we don't level up, there's definitely a possibility that that's going to happen. So let's see what final messages we have. What did I say? It's like I'm freaking psychic. Yep, we need to go within because we forgot this. This is what I've said. Revenge in the reverse. Yep. Triumph of lies. Why? For a chance to dream. Okay. So, with this one's pretty freaking obvious. We've lost who we are. I've already said that. You got men that are projecting their crap. You got women that don't trust men anymore, projecting their crap. You got women that compete with women. You got men that compete with men. You got wounds that you're refusing to accept. You don't want to come home to yourself. You don't want to do the work. You don't want to cry. You're afraid of your feelings. So then you develop disease and you develop all these health issues and you think this is normal. And then here, take a pill for this and here, drink this. And it's like, you guys don't get that the way home to yourself is literally going within. It's going within. Because when this happens, this chaos, the people that are going to make it respectfully, so, you know, to scare you a little bit, because I have to, because I see what I see, if you want to make it, you're going to have to learn how to meditate and come home to yourself anyway. Because if the rest of humanity doesn't level up, if there's only like a super small percentage of us, then this is going to happen. And the people that are like us are going to be okay because we can go within and we can deal with it because look at how this kind of looks like an invasion almost, right? It's like, oh my God, there's like ships and stuff and it's attacking and we don't feel safe, but peaceful among thorns. We know how to go within. We know how to find God source within. We know how to talk to our guides. We know how to come home to ourselves. And so this is going to be really hard if this happens for people that refuse to look inward. If you're not doing the work and they're doing, because what I'm seeing is like, I don't know if this is like, because I'm hearing Black Book, like underground. I'm seeing like people doing research on the psychological of people. And it's like, we're doing research and we're seeing how people are behaving and we're marking it down. It's like, how are they handling the lockdown? We're marking it down. How are they handling the Ukraine war? We're marking it down. And it's like, how are people behaving on social media? They're attacking each other. Okay, they're still not evolving. We're marking that down. And it's like, you need to get out of this place of projection, of feeling like the world owes you something, of feeling like, you know, that, how do I word this, Spirit? Like, say for instance, I don't mean to put my dirt out there, but it is what it is. I've mentioned this in self-development readings where there was a guy that I was in a situationship with that really, it messed me up. And for the longest time, like I blamed him, but then in reality, it made me come home to myself. It made me realize that the problem was me. I didn't respect myself. I was letting people date me and use me and abuse me because I was trying to find love outside of myself because I didn't love myself. And that is what we have as a humanity. It's like, I refuse to go within and do the work. And so I project it out onto other people. People hurt me. I blame the people. I don't ask why did I attract those people to begin with? What about me is bringing that into my awareness? You know what I mean? Like I've said that in prior readings, when you're like, oh, I'm only going to attract people that cheat on me, then you're going to attract people that cheat on you. You've already said that to be true, and that's what you're going to get because that's what you believe to be true. And so we need to change our beliefs moving forward so that instead of being vengeful towards other people, we go, like I've said in multiple videos, so if you watch my self-development videos, what is this telling me about myself? This person's hurting me. What is this telling me about myself? Because the only person that I have control over is me. And that's how we need to go moving forward. Stop projecting your shit onto other people. Start going within. That person hurt my feelings because they called me ugly. Instead of being angry about it, what is this telling me about myself? Oh, I have this subconscious belief that I am ugly, and that's why this is triggering me. What do I do about this? Okay, I feel like I'm ugly, so now I need to do some inner work. Now I need to start telling my inner critic that I'm beautiful. Now I need to start telling myself that I do deserve love, that I do. We need to start changing our belief systems, our inner critics, and our need to project on other people instead of taking accountability, even when we didn't choose that lifestyle. So say, like I said, I've been used by guys for, sex, and it really messed me up inside. But can I blame the men? Yeah, but I can also take back control and realize that I didn't love myself, and so I was putting myself in bad positions. Does that mean that I'm at fault? To an extent, it's complicated. But when we blame each other, then we are removing ourselves from the reality that we are always in control of our destiny. We are always in control of our lives. And we have lost that because society didn't benefit from us knowing that. And they triumphed and took control over us by, look at the crown, think about like the powers that be. I'm being drawn to like Queen Elizabeth and all that stuff. They help you become a shell of a human being because they give you, from the moment you're born, a bunch of crap. You're not good enough. You're not this. You have to look this way. You have to be this way. You never actually figure out who you are. And then you have all this anger and resentment, and then you project it out onto other people, and you can barely function because you're in a trauma state because you don't love yourself and you don't have a lot of faith in humanity and the world around you. But in reality, if you go within, if you find yourself, if you heal, you will change yourself. You will create a ripple effect to those around you. And I've seen it happen. I've seen people in my personal life that are changing. And it's not because I force them to. It's because you have that power. When you show people that there's hope in peace, when there's hope in coming together, when there's hope in finding yourself, that's when you change the game. But we live in a world that's taught you that you have to rely on things outside of yourself in order to be somebody, in order to have a life that's amazing. And so because of this, because of the way the world has been going, we have a choice now where you can decide. You could still be vengeful. You could still hate everybody, project your shit, blame everyone else. Or you can self-reflect and you could go within and go, even though I didn't choose that, right? Even though I didn't choose parents that couldn't show up for me. Even though I didn't choose to live in a place of poverty. Even though I didn't choose this, what can I learn? How can I change this to benefit my life? What can I do to make myself a sovereign, free being? And that goes with taking all accountability, taking all responsibility, and understanding that everybody is a reflection of the wounds within you that need to be healed. And when we can start doing that, we can start healing, we can start coming together, and we can make it so this does not happen. Yeah, but unless okay, that makes more sense. That's probably why I need to go on a tangent first. But if we don't, and if we let them continue to do this, to suck us dry so that they can get their power, then we're going to need a savior. And that's when this fake invasion happens. We're going to need someone to save us because we refuse to save ourselves. Time and time again, we refuse to save ourselves. And so there has to be a sacrifice. We're going to lose people if this happens, y'all. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to make you realize that. Because big picture, y'all, when all these tsunamis and these wildfires, regardless of conspiracy or not, as messed up as it is, what happens when chaos happens? It brings us together. When all this trauma happens to us, it brings us together. And so if we don't learn to start coming home to ourselves now and coming together now, then they have to orchestrate orchestrate an event where people are harmed in mass casualties so that the only choice we have is to lean on one another. Yeah, now I'm hearing Lean on Me by Bill Withers. So this is up to us moving forward. We are at a crossroads in terms of our evolution. Do we choose ourselves and going within and doing the work, or do they choose it for us? Are we going to choose to stay narcissistic and lying and making excuses and, oh, this is what happens, and I'm just going to focus on me, and I'm going to do me, and meh, 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 and then you just project your bullshit, and it rinse, wash, repeat. That's what's going to keep happening. We keep comparing ourselves. We keep being jealous of other people. Oh my God, I'm so jealous of these celebrities that have so much money, and then meanwhile we find out that they're just having the worst lives on earth. We have got to stop comparing ourselves, start healing and coming together. And if we don't do that, then yeah, I hate to say it, but allegedly for entertainment purposes only, y'all, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. So, one more thing. All right, so final messages from Spirit. What we should know. I'm hoping to see the card, nothing is yet set in stone, because that would really be good for us. But, yeah, I'm not feeling very hopeful. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so remember how I said we were at a crossroads? Shit. Just move that. Remember how I said we were at a crossroads? So right now what I'm getting here, especially with your commitments being tested in the middle, again, they are watching us. They're seeing where humanity goes next. And they're doing, because what I'm seeing is like scientists and like calculations and like what's the best approach moving forward. And with your hard work is paying off, what I'm seeing is like the people that are stepping into their power right now, the people that aren't worried about being called crazy, and they're putting their stuff out there, and they're like, I'm being drawn to like people that are making Facebook posts that are like, this is what's going on with astrology, and this is the downloads that I'm getting from the Galactic Federation, and this is what I'm seeing from my spirit guides. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you look crazy, keep going, because these people, these starseeds, these light workers, whoever it is that has that calling inside of them, y'all need to start speaking up, speaking your truth. Get on your platforms, do what you got to do. Now's the time, because again, remember the ripple effect. Just like, think about when someone's mean to you at the grocery store, right? And that like ruins your whole day. And then you come home and then you yell at your spouse and you yell at your kids. And all of that happened because someone was rude to you at a grocery store, and it built up, right? Think about how that works in the opposite effect. Think about, remember when we were all feeling low and so everybody was paying for everyone's Dunkin', and it created that ripple effect of like the person in front of you paid for your drink, and it just created this ripple effect of people paying for drinks. Just like the ripple effect of negativity has that power, the ripple effect of positivity has the same level of power. And so right now, the people that feel like they should be speaking out on this, speak out on it now, because you came here to do that. And this was probably a dream of yours. You felt like you needed to be a part of it. Something is just, it clicks with your soul. It's because you're part of this movement. You're part of the group that's meant to wake up humanity. And if we start really doing that, we got a chance of maybe not letting this come to fruition. Especially with meditate and contemplate being on the back of the deck. I literally said that we need to come home within ourselves. We need to start meditating. We need to realize that we need to go within for answers and not outside of ourselves for answers. Yeah, look at the bigger picture. What do you need to release? But emotions are running high. We have a choice to make right now, y'all. I think that's why I was drawn to do this reading. We have a choice to make, and it's up to us. A personal issue reaches... Bring love into the situation. Jesus, these cards are on point. We have a choice. Are you going to choose to keep going the way you've been going, or are you going to choose to level up so that humanity doesn't force you to? That's the vibe. And notice how like she's pouring into herself, which is pouring into the star system, because that has the same ripple effect. You take care of yourself and you help others learn to do the same. And if we continue down that path, then we have a chance of this not happening. Now, I know a lot of you are probably like, oh my God, this is an alien invasion that's fake so that the government can control us. That's not the vibe. It's more of we are being forced to accept ETs because it is time for us to evolve and to evolutionary take a step into the right direction where we get free energy. Med beds I just keep being drawn to med beds. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically like, and I might even butcher this, but basically it's a level of technology that we don't even understand. Like I'm being shown now, like a light beam almost, and it helps cure the entire body. There's technologically advanced systems that have been shelved, that are extraterrestrial, that the higher ups, the people in the background did not benefit from us having. But if we go within, if we realize the power of our minds, if we heal, if we share that with other people, if we decide to choose peace in a time of chaos, then we can change the future. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds wild, but that's how it is, y'all. So I'm going to leave it at this. I hope this was helpful. 10 years keeps coming to mind. So I feel like we got time. So start speaking your truth. Stop being ashamed of who you are. People are going to call you crazy. I get called crazy all the time. I don't care. Stop caring. And you know what? If you're on your personal Facebook, you're comparing yourself to other people, start going within, start understanding where these wounds are coming from, and start releasing them now. Release them now so that we can come home to one another, where we can, I'm hearing cheers again, where everybody knows your name, where we become a community together, where we love one another, and we come together for the greater good of humanity. When we can do that, we have a better chance of this not coming to fruition, and we'll have a more natural ET, them showing themselves in a way that's less psychologically damaging to the human psyche. We've had enough trauma. It's time for y'all to accept that this is the reality moving forward so that we can actually move forward. So I'm going to leave it at that. Again, if you like this video, let me know. Please leave a like. It does help my channel. Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully this is helping you decide to choose yourself and move forward and realize that the ripple effect of happiness is just as strong. Please share this video. Get it out there because I don't want to see this happen. And let me know what you want to see in future videos. Subscribe, hit that notification bell to get more videos. And yeah, besties, create the life that you want to live so that we can see it come to fruition, so that we can evolve as a species. Let's do it so that it's not forced upon us. Let's not create another traumatic event, y'all. So I'm going to leave it at that. We still have a chance. We still have the power to change this, but it all starts with us deciding to level the hell up. So let's do it, y'all. Let's level up. Bye, guys.